So our job is to make sure you always not only know what is going on, but what's going to be going on next as well. And so building out some sort of a system or process that makes sure that our clients are always in the loop and know exactly where they're at and also know what's coming up next is really something that's important to us. Welcome to the Whissel Way Podcast. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty Group and eXp Realty in San Diego.
I am Bryan Koci, the marketing director here at Whissel Realty Group.
The goal of our show is to give you the tools, techniques, and tactics that you need to go out there and crush it in your business, whether that be real estate, mortgage, or really just any business out there. Our goal is to do that in 30 minutes or less. We want this to be the kind of podcast you consume on your way to or from the office and get the entire thing. We're not fans of those 4 or 5 hour long podcasts where it takes you like a month to listen to it because you keep listening to bits and pieces. We want to give you the whole enchilada. If you enjoy the podcast today, we'd really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a little thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and a little bell to get notified of future episodes. Or if you are listening, if you can hook us up with a review on whatever platform it is that you're listening to us on, because we're on like Spotify and Pandora and iHeartRadio and the actual podcast app on Apple, iTunes. Like, we're freaking everywhere, dude.
Yep.
Tomcat is he's getting us out there.
Yeah, he's getting us on weird things like there's like, I can't think of a weird one, but there's like Next Door, or there's just weird shit. I'm like, I don't think they do podcasts. And Tom goes, they have one, and it's us. We're good.
First podcast on Next Door. Cool. The way that we like to run the show is rather than guessing at what it is that you guys want to hear about, we just listen to you. You guys have questions for us. You can just ask them on thewhisselway.com. You can ask us questions on there. You can join our Facebook group where you can watch some of these behind-the-scenes videos of us shooting podcasts and other fun stuff. I'm on a video a day challenge right now and have been for like over a month. Got to shoot a video every single day, and if I miss a day, it costs me $2,000 for missing a single video. So
I thought it was $100.
No, it's $2,000.
Oof.
$2,000 to miss a video. So.
I'm gonna hit up Dan and maybe we'll conspire.
There have been many nights I've shot a video at like 11 o'clock at night, right before bed. But it's cool. We're getting it done. It's amazing what a little money on the line does for accountability.
Or a lot of money. Either way. Depends how you look at it.
So you can subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel. You can ask us questions, join our referral network because everybody's leaving California right now, and find out about upcoming events like our Media Mayor Mastermind, which we will start doing in person when Governor Newsom allows us to, but we are talking about putting a little online version together that you can watch at your leisure. So stay tuned for details on that. Again, go to thewhisselway.com to get signed up for all the details.
Yes.
All right, Bryan, what are we talking today?
So looking through the responses of what people wanted to hear about, a lot of it was about client experience. And that's one thing that I think there's always room for improvement. 6 years ago when I joined, one of the first things we did was we built a 10-step buyer and a 10-step escrow process. And it looked a little something like this. You knocked on my door. You said, hey, you busy? I go, what's up? You go, oh, we're going to film some videos right now. And we filmed 20 videos. We had a sheet that showed kind of the process of the buyer that the buyer goes through and the process that the seller goes through as they go through the transaction. But we've tweaked it several times throughout the years. And we are getting ready to do it again. I thought it would be a good idea to share with you watching and listening of exactly what the process looks like now rather than just saying, hey, let's just film it real quick, and how we're really diving into making sure we have the right stuff, that it's future-proof until things change, and kind of what it looks like. So, Kyle, do you want to start with anything, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing I want to start with is that we try to live by this motto that if you, as a client, ever have to call or ask us what's going on, then we're not doing our job. So our job is to make sure you always not only know what is going on, but what's going to be going on next as well. And so building out some sort of a system or process that makes sure that our clients are always in the loop and know exactly where they're at and also know what's coming up next is really something that's important to us. So the original system we built has worked amazing. And those videos have had hundreds, some of them thousands of views on YouTube. And it makes it really easy for us because now as we hit certain milestones in the transaction, we're building out automations to where as soon as something happens, it automatically fires off the next step. But even if you don't have anything that can do this automatically, I've over the years just sent out quick text messages. Hey, great news, guys. The buyer scheduled their inspection. That's step 4 at selling.kylewhissel.com. Hey, good news, guys. The buyers removed their contingencies. That's step 7 at selling.kylewhissel.com.
Correct.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I've sent them out a few hundred times over the years. So having something where you can just very easily keep your clients in the loop on where they're at is huge. And what's cool is by putting a 10-step video series together, it's a playlist on YouTube. What we've been able to do is now take that YouTube link and then use a subdomain like selling.kylewhissel.com, which makes it very easy. So I don't have to remember some weird YouTube link with, ABC123 after it. Now it's just selling.kylewhissel.com forwards to that playlist. Now they can watch step 4. And then what are they going to do when step 4 is done? YouTube's automatically going to play step 5 and step 6 and step 7. So they are going to know not only where they're at, but they're going to know what's coming up next. And then we've also we had some original graphics that I built when I was the graphic designer of the company, because I've been everything in the company. I've been the TC, I've been the photographer, I've been
We'll use
everything.
that term. We'll use a lot of those loosely.
Bryan is hating because I got a better camera than him. He's
Yep.
just mad about my Nikon D3100.
One of these days, I'll get one of that camera.
We'll get you. We'll get you squared away, dude.
Can't
You
wait.
got those big, bulky, heavy cameras. That D3100 is way more nimble.
Yes. For those that you don't know, it's a camera it's an entry level camera
It's
from
like
Nikon.
a $500 DSLR.
It was
maybe
a
it was like
$500. No, it was five. It was their entry level. I sold it at Best Buy,
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, I'm an OG is basically what you're saying.
Yes.
Yep, that's what I hear you saying.
Yeah. My first camera was before your first camera, so we'll call it that.
I sold the first DSLR camera
Anyway.
many, many years ago when I worked in audio video.
Okay.
All right.
We're off track.
It's all good. It's not EOS. So we built out some graphics as well. With the original one, I built them in Excel is how I built out the original graphics.
Those look really good for Excel.
Excel has a cool smart art section in it, and you could build some charts out. So I built out the original there. And then you could build something very easily today in Canva. So I had built a new 10 steps in Canva, and then Bryan was like, hold on, let me see this. And Bryan wanted to add his little twist on it, and he's come up with something pretty cool for us.
Yeah. The end. I did it.
So if you're listening, you're not going to be able to see this, so you can go to YouTube and check out the video. If you're on YouTube, we built this really cool kind of stair-step thing where we built it out again into 10 steps, and we have a little stick figure who's going to walk up each of those steps. So now when we send out that message to the client that they're at step 1, the little stick figure is going to be on step 1. It'll be lit up so they know they're there, and they know what's coming up for the next 9 steps in the process. So now you have a little visual to go along with the videos that are going along with it. And then Bryan, the part that I didn't share with you yet is what I want to do is I want to get laminated magnetized versions of these so that we can give them to clients. They can put them up on the refrigerator.
I like that.
And then you can have the little stick figure that they can move up each one of the steps as they get there on their way to a successful closing.
Okay, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, I've also thought of some other things I want to do. I want to rebuild selling.kylewhissel.com to actually be a landing page that has on step 1 on the left-hand side, it has the video, and then on the right-hand side, it has a little description. And so maybe go back and forth, something like that. So some of the things that we do, so we have all these tools, right? We have the selling.kylewhissel.com. We have the graphic. We have the videos. And you mentioned automate. Kind of explain, this email goes out from our TC. It has the video in it. It has kind of a text explanation below.
Won't technically have, well, actually with the emails now in BombBomb, it'll be embedded in the email. So yes.
Yeah. So it'll have the email in BombBomb. It'll have the text explanation, and it'll have this graphic. So
all three.
Whether you're, and this is one thing that I talked with Shannon, our director of operations, about, whether people like to watch videos and learn that way, whether they're at work when they get this email so they want to read through it, or if they're just a very visual, quick, let's go, they can see the graphic and know exactly where they're at, what they've done, and what's going forward.
Yes, it's nice to have all of those options because some people need the video. People love video. So having that video explanation is huge, and then it's shareable video too, which is really nice. So if one spouse needs to share it with another family member, or even a friend conveniently, because like, hey, look at what my realtor does. They have these really cool videos, and they could share it. So that video is that very shareable content. But then having the words and the images all to go together really, really helps people out. And then I really think having the board at home where they get to move the little stick figure as they go through the process, I think will make it fun, especially if they have like kids and stuff like that. Kids love to play with those sort of things. So I think that'll be really cool.
I think it's fun.
Yeah?
I don't know exactly how we're going to move the guy. What we could do is we can give
Call
him...
it magnet, Brian.
I understand. But can you make a 1x1 magnet?
Pretty sure you can.
All right. Or...
Brian, have
or
your
what they can
parents
do-
ever told you this? You can do anything you put your mind to.
Or they can use a dry erase marker with a magnet on it and an eraser. That would be so easy.
The dumbest widget of the week.
That was a great
ever.
widget. Everyone loves it.
No, actually, the dumbest was that thing that hangs around your neck. That was straight
Tom
up
nods.
stupid.
I like it.
Have you used it yet?
No, shut up. Actually, no, I did use it.
Hey, we're debating.
Yeah, we have used it once.
Tomcat, you're going to have to throw a link in the show notes on this one to the stupidest widget ever.
I think it's a great widget. So one of the other things that we're going to be redoing when we utilize this process, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've decided this and I haven't told you yet.
Oh, cool.
When we first did
Sounds
the 10-step
familiar.
process, it was for you to send specifically to your clients. One thing that I want to kind of tweak in this one moving forward is, as you are the team leader, having it come from you as the team leader to any client from Whissel Realty Group for the agents that work here. So that way, if they want to record their own, they can, but out of the gate, they're going to have great communication without having to do anything extra. And it's really just you helping edify that person and being an extra piece of their team. So having it come from you as the team leader, not you as an agent, is one thing that I really want to work on moving forward.
Yeah, the other thing that we'll be sure of doing is removing names from it, because those videos were shot 5 years ago. And, you know, in any company, you're going to have some changes in your team makeup. And so if you start using specific names in those videos and the person in that role changes, that makes that video a little bit awkward. So that's going to be something else that I want to be really conscious of when we reshoot, is to not use specific names.
I'll just use their photos.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so those are a couple improvements that I think. And then me not wearing a suit, it was really weird. I used to wear suits. I went on like a suit kick for a little while there.
I think for like 3 months and then never again.
And then it got hot, and I was like, this is stupid. Why am I wearing this suit?
So let's run through real quick. Why don't we run through, again, it's going to be different for different people.
In different
states.
Even different cities within states, because Northern California and Southern California are different.
And again, even we've brought this to our team of agents. We've brought this to our TC, our operations team, and everyone's kind of had a little bit different opinion of what. So even if you're in San Diego, you might have 10 different steps. But why don't we, if someone wants to do this for themselves, why don't, Kyle, you run through, let's do seller first, the 10 steps that we have of the seller escrow process.
Yeah, for sure. So first step is on the sell side is just accepting an offer and helping a client understand what it means to accept an offer. And then in that email, we like to go over all of the key dates, contingency periods, closing periods, all of that stuff. We also like to go over the key contacts. So that's kind of like the, let's get started. Here's all the details you need to know, and you can always come back and reference this one.
And that's another great thing to note is you can be fairly general in the video and very specific in the email. So that way these videos can last a long time, but just changing stuff in the text of the email, the copy of the email.
Yep.
Anyway, continue.
We have step 2 is escrow's opened. So just helping them understand here, we're in California, so we have escrow. In other companies, you guys, or other states, you have title. In some states, you guys have attorneys. So you just adapt that accordingly, but helping them understand what escrow is, what they do, how they're involved in the transaction. Next step is we talk about filling out disclosures. So if somebody's on the sell side, they're going to have the disclosures that they have to fill out about their property. And then they're also going to have to fill out all the disclosures for the escrow company. Step 4, we have the home inspection. And so we help the client understand what is the home inspection, what's the purpose of it, what are the ramifications of it, and things that get found on it. Step 5 we have is the appraisal being completed. So we help them understand, again, what is the appraisal, what's the purpose, what are the ramifications. Step 6, we have the renegotiation, if necessary, because it's not always, but traditionally the buyer is going to have some sort of a request for repairs and potentially renegotiating on the price if the appraisal comes in low. So we help them understand how that works. Then the contingency removal. Again, this is different in each of your states, but in California, we call it a contingency removal. So that's just the point where the buyer declares they've completed all their inspections, investigations, their loans dialed in, and they're moving forward, and their deposit becomes non-refundable. Then they complete their final walkthrough. The closing disclosure is issued, and the buyer will sign their loan docs, the loan funds, and it closes. So those are the 10 steps we've got on the sell side.
And do you want to go through the buy side real
We
quick?
can do it, yeah, so people can R&D, which
Yep.
is rip off and duplicate. On the buy side, step one, you're going to send the initial deposit or EMD into escrow. Step two, buyer's going to meet with the lender. We also go over some of the do's and don'ts in there, so buyers don't do stupid shit. Like
buy
go
furniture?
buy a car if it's financed. Step three, buyer's going to do their inspection and appraisal. Then they're going to review their disclosures, and now the buyer's going to have an additional set of disclosures because they're going to have the ones that come from the seller. So they have the seller ones, they have the general buyer ones, and they have the escrow ones. So they got 3 sets of disclosures. Talk about ordering homeowners insurance, and we plug a few of our vendors who've done a great job for our clients. Then you have the renegotiation, the removal of contingencies, the final walkthrough, the closing disclosures, signed docs, fund and close the loan. So steps 6 through 10 are basically identical between the two. Steps 1 through 5 are going to be slightly different just on the buy side versus sell side. There's a little more for the buyer to do than the seller.
Cool.
Yeah, and I realized we could probably move some of these down. We have a couple that are like combined here on the end on the sell side. Maybe we should talk about that after.
Okay.
Before the final is done.
Yeah, because I have to re-export with each one and change the color of the.
Yeah.
That's why we're just making sure we have it all dialed in before we just run and go, which is something new we've done. So that's where we're at now. It'll probably change a little bit as we go. But yeah.
I think the important part is too, as we built this, is getting feedback from everybody, not just like you don't know what you don't know. Or was that Johari window? That was the exercise we did. So something called Johari window, and there's like the things that everybody knows about you and then there's the things people know about you and you don't know. There's things you know but other people don't know, and then there's the things other people don't know and you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So it could be really helpful to get a glimpse into the window that you're not seeing, where somebody might know something and you don't, and they can add a little bit of value. So before we finalize a lot of things, we always like to get 2 or 3 sets of eyeballs on them. Just to proofread too, because you don't want to like spend all the time building this and then it's shot and now you got to reshoot like 10 video or 20 videos.
Or I spell something wrong and that happens. Yeah, and if you're doing this process specifically, make sure your TC looks at it, because they're the ones that have these 10 steps. They're the ones that know what issues come up, and they're the ones that can say, hey, if we just used this word or we added this to this step, it's going to save me a lot of headache from, for example, of people saying, oh, I've already signed disclosures. No, you signed this one, but you didn't sign this one. So adding something like that in the email or in the video or in the graphic really can help tell that story better.
For sure.
Cool.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys got some value out of that. If you guys want to see the current videos that we have up, which they'll adjust over time, you can go to selling.kylewhissel.com and buying.kylewhissel.com. So if you want to get some ideas of what we did 5 years ago, and then we'll have a new and improved version hopefully in January.
Hopefully.
Because Kyle's going to take some time off at the end of the month.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, we don't have anything else to do end of year.
Yeah.
No more. Kyle just says, no rush, just end of year. I go, that's 2 weeks.
Bro, it's only going to take 5 minutes. That's my favorite saying.
Yes.
Cool.
So let's get into it.
All right. So the way we like to finish the show up is with something we call the Whissel Widget of the Week. This is something we're using in our business. It saves us time, makes us more money, or just helps us have a little bit more fun. What do you got for us, Bryan?
I kind of want to know what your widget is, because I've got obviously 2. Which one are you going with first? Why don't you go first?
All right, good. Because
I
I struggled to come up with one. Because how many episodes have we done of this, Tomcat?
So season 2 this will be episode 64.
So we've done like 64 episodes, and we share
season 2
things every single time.
Yep.
So we've shared like over 100 of these. So hence why Bryan is using a fucking marker with a magnet on it.
It's great. It's great. Literally, I saw someone else had it. Chris had it in his office, and I was like, "Do you like these?" He goes, "I love them. They're great."
Yeah.
God, someone let him know they're great. I'm gonna hide all his markers and know exactly where mine are. So what's your widget?
All right, the one I want to share with you guys today. Zoom is really blown up as far as people using it for video chatting and doing meetings and stuff over Zoom. And Zoom has a webinar platform, but I think it sucks. The reason is it's confusing for people, because when you do a Zoom webinar, you have chat and you have Q&A. And people are just flat out stupid. You can tell them over and over and over again, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A. Well, then you got a bunch of stupid people who are putting questions in the chat.
Yep.
So I despise Zoom's webinar platform. I think it's crap. Or as Chris from our team likes to say, dog shit. Got you, Chris. So the platform that we like to use for webinars is one that Frank Kern put together, or at least is an investor in, or owns it, or someone that he endorses. And if you don't know Frank Kern, he's the master of doing webinars. So the service is called Webinar Jam. So Webinar Jam is a really great platform. It's specifically built for webinars. It's very easy. There's a ton of landing page options on the back end that make it look very, very professional. It's very easy to use. You don't need a graphic design degree or a whole lot of tech knowledge. It's pretty simple to build out. And it's a very good platform when you're up and running and you get webinars going. So if you're looking for something to build webinars on in 2021, I would strongly encourage you to check out Webinar Jam.
Cool. The one I have is a way to decrease the sizes of your images in terms of file sizes while maintaining a high level of quality. And this is a tool called Tiny PNG. You upload a file through there and it will compress it, and it tells you, hey, I compressed it 86%, 83%, 92%, whatever. But the great thing about using this is great when you're using images on your website and you want load times to be fast when sending images through email. If you use something like MailChimp, it'll tell you the file size is too big, and so they can compress it. But if you compress it, it's just going to help the emails go faster, the images load faster, and just a better client experience. It's really easy. It's free. They probably have a premium version, but I've never had to use it. But yeah, it's called tinypng.com, I think. But
yeah, and that matters a lot for email deliverability too.
Yep.
When you send emails that have way too many images in them or big fat images, it will actually push those into spam or into promotions or places you don't want them to go. So making sure you shrink down all your images when you send an email is pretty important.
Yep.
Cool. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. If you did, we'd really appreciate it. If you are listening, whatever platform you're listening on, give us a thumbs up or a rating on there. That helps us a ton. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a little thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified whenever we drop some new episodes. If you have questions you want to have us answer on a future episode, you can always go to thewhisselway.com. You can ask questions, join our Facebook group, subscribe to the podcast, the YouTube channel, join our referral network, and find out about our upcoming Media Mayor Mastermind event that we're putting together. Hopefully you guys got a lot of value out of the show today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Whissel Way Podcast.
See you guys next week.
Wait. Before you leave, I want to share some more tips and tricks that we're using in our business to take it to that next level. Just click right here. And don't forget to subscribe. Click right here.